On a recent stream, xQc expressed interest that maybe he was going to buy the Guard Valorant team. If you guys have not been keeping up on the drama, we have a couple of videos on here at TLDRing, giving the full context around the Valorant scene and what happened with the Guard, which is a crazy story. An organization going financially insolvent and the players left, well, pretty much gutted in the situation. Riot ultimately reversing their decision, allowing these 5 players to go find an organization or a creator and streamer suitable to field this roster underneath an official organization to be promoted in VCT, the Tier 1 Valorant League. It was actually xQc on stream saying he had thought about doing it, but he doesn't think he actually has enough time to get the proper structure in order to do so. And really quick, a huge shout out to our sponsor, Thunderpick, talking about Valorant. Well, we're actually partnering with them for esports betting across many great games out there, and they will always be in our description down below. If you guys do decide to bet, please do responsibly, 18 plus. But here's xQc yet again expressing interest in something that we've talked about with xQc actually before.
Yeah, I was thinking about buying the Guard from Valorant and just kind of sending it, even though it's kind of expensive.
Do a CS2 team, bro.
Yeah, but I realized that I don't think we have enough time to set up the whole structure before it starts, because people need to have like a full structure.
You can't just like put money into one that's like already developing and then just like be a part of it.
Yeah. But since it's like T1, right? It's like Tier 1 Valorant. All the other teams have like a full, like, you know, they would have like where they're gonna live, where they're gonna practice, their whole support team and shit like that. They have like, it's like full-fledged out, you know. And building that might take a bit of time.
Do you like the future of where Valorant's going right now?
Yeah.
I just imagine CS2 being fucking ginormous. So.
I think CS2 is gonna stay where it's at and kind of grow maybe a little bit.
Really?
Valorant's not did it all. If I just want to. Because I have money for it and just say fuck it. It's pretty cheap. It's expensive in the grand scheme of things, but I mean, I'm not trying to be where it's just kind of cheap overall, you know?
Yeah.
It'd be like I think a whole Tier 1 team for like 2 years, or the time that it is like 2 or 3 mil at most, at like the very ultra most.
2 mid, 1.
I want you to get a CS2 team so I could root for a team again.
And this makes a lot of sense. If you guys do not know xQc, a few months back we covered him because he had interest in buying a Valorant roster at the time and still known as Turtle Troop. The good old Turtle Troop's kind of a meme team, but also a very solid Valorant roster and very competitive in what could be the Ascension League, or if he just wants to have his name out there owning a roster. Unfortunately, that did fall through as xQc seemingly was in talks with that roster and it never came fully to fruition. A lot of varying opinions on how that deal did fall apart, but a lot of people in the Valorant scene were left feeling that he was uncommitted to actually having what it takes to field a roster and to run it properly. As xQc goes on to expand, he would need the structure for this team, and certainly for a VCT roster that is the Tier 1 Valorant scene with Riot Games, it seems that the requirements are not just financially, but also content-wise, backing-wise, a lot of other requirements to actually field a franchise league roster with Riot Games, to which they can be pretty nitpicky. And I do agree. Unfortunately, I like xQc. I would love to see a big creator take this roster over. I highly doubt Riot Games, given his history in exchanges with Valorant or other esports rosters, would actually accept him as a viable option. That's just my guess. But regardless, it still would be cool to see other creators, maybe like xQc, maybe a Disguised Toast, maybe Moist Moguls with Charlie or Ludwig, take over this roster, push the content to the absolute limits, and do something with these 5 players who still deserve a spot. And it's still cool to see that xQc has expressed interest in esports, because I want him to field the roster in the future. He's not a huge fan of CS2 versus Valorant, but I would love to see a Juicers CS2 roster. Like, can you imagine how cool that would be? But what do you guys think about xQc expressing interest in a Valorant roster? What esport should he join next? And last time we also talked about xQc, he had interest in not only a Valorant roster, but also a Rocket League team and a League of Legends team. He says a lot, hasn't taken a lot of action. And then beyond that, of course, calling $2 to $3 million a year pretty cheap. You know he's got the capital for it. It just comes down to, does he want to set up a proper team to run an esports team for him? What do you guys think? Till next time, take care of yourselves, all right? Drink up. We'll see you back here sometime soon.